All right.
Go
Stop
ahead.
laughing. Stop laughing. We're on, Tom. We're on.
I've got my kid crawling like underneath the table here. So, and he's 18. He's 18, Bill.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
You know.
But I do know this is our, I think this is our first webcast, web video, whatever, of 2017. We've been waiting till we think there's enough to talk about. And Tom, it sounds like just the responses on the blog seem to be, a lot of people reading the National Weather Service discussion, and doesn't seem to be all that much to get too excited about. You seem to be a little bit more enthusiastic about possibilities for snow. Tell us more.
Yeah, well, I'm really enthusiastic about, and people know that. People who've been following me here over the last couple of days realize that I'm touting snow. I've been looking at medium range guidance now for the last 3-4 days. And for the last 3-4 days, the guidance has been very consistent that much of the Twin Cities Metro, much of Minnesota and Wisconsin is going to get a healthy 6-inch plus snowfall next week. So that would mean as we head into tomorrow, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All right. So that would kind of those 3 days is what's going to make up our snowfall. And it's going to come in pieces, in chunks. And we could get quite a bit of snowfall depending on where you are in the metro and how lucky you are, right? So, I really don't understand, and it would be fun to have somebody from the National Weather Service with us, to explain kind of what they're thinking. I know they're still a little bit hesitant at the National Weather Service because the guidance is showing snow, but it just doesn't seem like they want to commit to the heavy stuff. Maybe it's trigger shy. I don't know what it is, but again, what I've seen over the last 3-4 days has been very consistent consensus with all the model guidance that there's going to be accumulating snow. So I'm riding with it.
Tom, I know KSTP tends to be one of the more enthusiastic snow forecasters versus, say, KARE 11. Have you checked to see if KSTP is more enthusiastic, for lack of a better word, than the National Weather Service?
Yeah, no, and I apologize. Usually I do. Usually I like to watch the local stations. I haven't checked them out yet. I've been hearing just, off to the side that a couple of television stations are pretty low with their predictions. I've been catching a lot of heat on Facebook, Bill, because people are wondering why I'm saying 6 inches plus when everybody else is saying 1 to 2 inches. I think what some people don't understand is that at least the 1 to 2 inches that they may be hearing is simply just for tomorrow, maybe, and Tuesday morning, and they don't realize that we're going to get more snow after that. But regardless, there's no doubt that my predictions seem to be higher than everybody else's. I hope it pans out. I won't be surprised if it doesn't. But again, I just go with what I see. I don't like to flip-flop. I've been consistent over the last several days about getting significant snow, and I'm not going to budge right now.
All right. The New York Giants were budged quite a bit, so you're better. You're better than the Giants, anyway.
Well, hey, Bill. The truth is, and we joke about this. But the truth is, in weather forecasting, for me, I think what's important is just not to flip-flop. Unless you absolutely have to change your tune, I just don't believe in doing it.
Yeah, no, and I think a lot of people appreciate that.
Good. I bet you're going to want to look at some data, don't you, Bill?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, I'm going to show you exactly why I know, Bill, why I've been so gung-ho for snow. Because these maps now, there's going to be 2 or 3 snowfall maps I'm going to show you. These are future snowfall maps. They've been consistent over the last 2-3 nights, okay? Now, this is the GFS computer model, all right? And look at this. This is a snowfall total through Thursday morning now. So this is over the next 3 to 4 days. And again, I'm just shocked that people aren't talking more about snow, but here we are. Minneapolis, St. Paul International, about 9 inches of snow is what the GFS's point is cranking out. Look at Wisconsin, the bonanza of snow in northern and central Wisconsin, well over a foot of snow there expected. And
that's from when to when is that again, Tom?
This is from tonight now, which of course we're not going to get much, if anything at all, tonight. But so basically from Monday through Thursday morning, so about a 3-day period.
Okay.
Okay, now this is the Canadian model guidance, all right? Looks very similar to the American GFS model, right, Bill? Bullseye over northern Wisconsin, over a foot of snow. And then here at MSB International, over 7 inches of snow expected. And then as you go north over the northern metro and into the lakes country, maybe even more than that, 10 to 12 inches of snow. So there's a consensus there between those two models. And then we'll tie it all together with the European computer model. You know, this is the one that I live and die for. Although I think the American model has been pretty darn good this year, but here we go. The European computer model is showing 6.5 inches of snow, and really what it comes down to, it's somewhere in that 6, 8, 9 inches of snow over central and northern Minnesota, including the Twin Cities metro, and it also has the bullseye of snow over northern Wisconsin. So Bill, there's a consensus there. These three medium range model guidances have shown the same thing over the last 3 days, so I don't have any reason to flip-flop with my forecast. I'm going to go with snow. Now, here is the red flag, the fly in the ointment right here. All computer models are also showing a very sharp cutoff. We deal with this all the time, Bill, and no doubt this is going to make me nervous, and I'm sure it's making other forecasters nervous, but very sharp cutoff in the snow totals as you get down towards I-90 in southern Minnesota. So if these storms were to track just 30 to 50 miles further north than expected, that would put that sharp gradient right across the Twin Cities metro, and that could easily happen. And that's one of the reasons why I'm nervous, because this would be some ice and some mix down here in southern Minnesota, just south of the metro, which would cut into totals.
But you're not expecting, so it is a possibility of some liquid precipitation mixing in then, huh?
Oh, I think there's definitely a possibility. In fact, I think it's going to happen even in the Twin Cities, where especially on Tuesday, we may get some snow that changes over to a mix, maybe even some rain or some drizzle. So I do expect that. But in the meantime, or at least we're going to bookend it with snow, probably snow on Monday into Tuesday morning, and then likely some snow again Wednesday. So, but yeah, I think the threat for a mix is certainly there, even in the Twin Cities, especially on Tuesday. Now, Bill, this is the NAM computer model. And this is hot off the press. This is the 18 Zulu computer model run. This is, again, predicting snow. This is the snow potential. And you can see, here's the Twin Cities right here. This is why I'm nervous. This is probably why the National Weather Service and most other outlets are not going full bore with their snow prediction, okay? Look at this sharp gradient right across central and southern Minnesota. Anywhere from 8 to 10 inches in the northern Twin Cities metro to basically nothing as you get to Rochester. So, you know, we deal with this all the time. It's a very difficult forecast, and we're just going to have to really hone in on these guidances over the next day or two to try to see exactly where that gradient is going to set up. It's a tricky forecast, Bill. One last guidance I'm going to show you. This, again, is the 18 Zulu NAM 4K computer model run. And once again, I just wanted to zoom in on the metro. Here we are. Southern Twin Cities metro, it's showing only 1 inch or 2 of snow by Thursday morning, whereas in northern metro, 6 to 8 inches plus of snow.
So the NAM is different than some of the other models.
Well, the NAM computer models are showing this rain snow line, or at least the sharp gradient, a little bit further north than all the other model guidances. So now this gets really complicated, but the reason why I'm not sold on the NAM computer model, Bill, is because the NAM computer model is a short-term guidance. It doesn't do a very good job if a storm's energy is still off the coast, which that's where it is right now. The energy with the storms for Tuesday and Wednesday are still in the Pacific Ocean. And these short-term guidances don't do as good of a job as the medium and longer range guidances do with energy that's off the coast. So right now, I believe the GFS, the European model, and the Canadian model, those first three snow graphics I showed you, more than I do this NAM computer model one. But we need to take in the NAM, we need to take that into consideration.
So if you were going to, some people know I'm living in New Mexico, and the local weather forecaster, they give a bust percentage, which I know you're not a big believer in, but at this point you'd have to say the bust percentage would be still kind of high.
Definitely. High potential if you're predicting a lot of snow, right? So high
Yeah.
bust potential for me. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And yeah, I am a little worried about that. But once again, I like to stick to my guns. I don't like to waffle every other way and flip flop. And I just have no reason to back off right now, especially in the Twin Cities metro with this idea for snow. But yeah, if you live along I-90, Albert Lee, Rochester, even as far north as Red Wing, yeah, it looks like a little bit more mix, which could hold snow totals down.
Any other maps for us, Tom?
Yep. Well, this one's also hot off the press, William. This is my 48-hour estimate. Now, again, this is 48 hours, so this only goes through about late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning. This will not factor in the snow that we would get later Wednesday, okay? And that could be a decent amount of snow then too. But anyway, so tomorrow and Tuesday, I will not be surprised if from about the northern Twin Cities metro on north and east, a solid 4 to 6 inches plus of snow falls during that period. Again, that's Monday and Tuesday, okay? And then the rest of the metro, somewhere in that 2 to 4 inch range. And then as we had seen with the model guidances, sharp cutoff as you get down towards I-90, which would be Rochester and Mankato. And the reason being is that some ice and mix is likely going to fall down in those parts of the state. So yeah, I feel good. I feel confident that an accumulating snow is going to occur in the Twin Cities. How much it's going to be, that's going to be tricky just because we've got these sharp gradients that we're likely going to be dealing with.
Alrighty.
Of course, this will mean that you and I are going to have to do this at least one more time, either tomorrow or Tuesday.
Yeah, it does sound like a potentially fast-changing situation. And
right, and then when we do this again, and if it looks like a big bust for me, you can hassle me all you want. How does that sound?
Tom, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
All right, buddy.
You give too much to the community to do that to you. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
One thing I will be curious though in a couple days is the football game in Kansas City on Sunday. It'll be interesting to see if anything might materialize there. It's always fun to watch a game in the snow.
Right. Rumor had it that now granted this is 7 days out, but maybe some ice and snow in Kansas City for next weekend.
Yeah, be cool.
All right, William.
All right, Thomas.
Be good.
Talk to you later. Ciao.